Hey everyone, it's Star Alliance Man here, and today I have a new model airport update for the month of January in 2022. Happy New Year, everyone. I hope everyone had a great holiday break, and I'm just really happy to finally come out with a new model airport update after a couple months. Very busy and a lot of stuff happening, a lot of travel, as I'm sure you've seen some of my travel videos. But really great to be back and set up the model airport again. Really just looking so good to be back, and all the gates and all the terminals and planes are all in their spots. So really happy to bring you a new model airport update. We do have a few new models in this one, and also some of the small changes we made and some of the later updates I've done in July of earlier last year. We added a new expansion terminal to the rest of the Concourse. So just going to go through some of those changes, and I'm really happy to have you here, and thank you so much for watching. So let's jump straight into the update. So we'll start over here at sort of the first terminal, and this one is kind of the main entrance. We have a lot of sort of GSE vehicles here, like buses and shuttles, stuff like that. We've also added the new little hotel here at the front. But this terminal basically serves, most of the non-network, mainline carriers. So we have, sort of the JetBlues, Frontiers. We also have Southwest as well, which has been a new carrier just recently added to the airport. They have a few gates there. So we'll start off with this Frontier A321 here, just doing a quick service to Denver. We have the JetBlue A321. This is the Mint configuration. This one will be doing a service to Fort Lauderdale. Here we have the JetBlue A321neo, this aircraft doing a service to Boston. And here we have the Southwest. This is the 737 MAX 8 with a service to Las Vegas. We have an empty gate there, and then next to that we have, I think, a new model to the airport, the NG Southwest 737-800 in the Freedom 1 livery, of course. This one is, highly regarded, I know. Certainly a really, awesome livery. You can see that all over the U.S. This one doing a service to Dallas Love Field. Next to that, we have another 737-800, I believe, also by NG, doing a service to Chicago Midway. And then as we jump into the next terminal here, so this one is completely served by United. And I think in my last couple updates, I haven't been too sure about where the airlines park, but I'm pretty sure now that, United is probably best to be parking here. It just seems to be enough gates for them in order to fit, as many planes as we can, and just seems to be the right size for them. So they have, exclusive access to, this whole terminal. So they have, their Polaris Lounge and United clubs in here. So everything is kind of customized to them. So we'll start off with a couple wide bodies here, and I'll just say that this timing of the airport is really about the late night kind of period. So it's kind of 8, 9 p.m. right now. So we have a couple sort of wide bodies heading down to Asia and other places like that. So we'll just start off with this 787-9, still wearing the old livery, doing a service to Papiti in Tahiti. Up next, we have the United 777-200ER. This aircraft is getting pushed back and will be doing a service to Sydney, Australia. Up next, we have a few regionals here. So you can see we have a decent amount of taxi lines here. We can try to fit in as different aircraft combinations. But we'll firstly start off just with the Sirius A200 here doing a service to Fresno. And next to that, we have the United Express E175 just doing a quick hop to Jackson Hole. Next to that, we have a 757-200 here. This is in the Herart here livery. Just, a fantastic model, I think, made by NG as well. This one's doing a red-eye service to Newark. And up next, we have the 737-700 of United. This aircraft doing a service to Denver. Up next, we have the United 767-300ER. This aircraft doing a service to Honolulu. Up next, we have the 737-800, also in the Globe livery here, doing a service just over to Houston, Texas. And up next, we have the 737-800, also in the Evo Blue. So we have kind of a mix here. It's, mostly Evo Blue, but we do have a few in the Globe. But this one doing a service to Washington Dulles. And then just a couple more United aircraft here. We have the another 737-800 here, just waiting, just coming in from San Francisco. It's just going to be waiting for the 777 here just to finish the pushback. And then up here, we also have a United A319. This aircraft is doing the service up to San Francisco, so just going to be departing for that now. And then as we move into the international concourse, so this concourse is certainly a little bit more extended than it has been in the past. We can see towards the end there, we have sort of a third terminal added to the main two here. Obviously part of the original, Gemini Jets terminal set that they came out with. But you can see, we do have mostly international carriers here on this side, Air Canada, Air New Zealand. But then we also have some of the classic American carriers like American, Alaska, and then further down we have Delta. So we're going to take you through all of those, and we'll just kind of start off with some of the internationals here. So we have the Philippine Airlines A350, this aircraft doing a service over to Manila. And next to that, we have the Air China. This is the 777-300ER with a service to Beijing. And next to that, we have the Air New Zealand. This is the 787-9 doing a service to Auckland. And then as I take you around this side, we have just a couple Air Canada aircraft here. So both of these will be doing red-eye flights to sort of the eastern part of Canada. So they're obviously using the narrow-body configuration at some of these gates. You can see, we've usually got wide bodies here, but they can accommodate a couple narrow-body aircraft. So you'll see the Air Canada A321 here doing a service to Toronto. And next to that, we have a Air Canada A220-300, this aircraft doing a service to Montreal. And then as we move into sort of the latter part of the terminal, we have a Delta A321 here, this aircraft doing a service over to Atlanta. Up next, we have the CRJ 700. This is, I think, a brand new model. It only came out a couple months ago, so just doing a very quick hop to Salt Lake from here. And you can see we have a little boarding ramp for them, just like we did for the United Express a little further back. So they have a little staircase here they can go down, and then that's how they will access the CRJ. Up next, we have the Japan Airlines. This is a 787-9. He's just about to be ready to be pushed back and doing a service to Tokyo Haneda. And speaking of being pushed back, we have the Singapore. This is the A380. Now, this aircraft I really haven't brought out that often. Obviously with the A380s mostly being grounded except for Emirates, you don't really see it that often. But Singapore has been bringing them back, and or they will be, I think, later in the future. So. It's just a beautiful aircraft. I was lucky enough to fly on it a couple times. So just really, cool to have this in the airport. And this aircraft will be going to Tokyo Narita first and then continuing on to Singapore. So we can see you got a little tug there at the bottom, just pushing that A380 back. And next to that, we also have a newcomer to the gates. And usually this Qantas 787 is on the stands, coming in early in the morning and doesn't get ferried to the gate until later. But since it is later at night, we have the Qantas 787-9 aircraft will be doing a service to Sydney, Australia. And then behind that, just waiting to occupy the A380 gate here is the Singapore A350-900. Now, this is the non-stop service from Singapore. It's also going to be doing the return to Singapore later. So A350-900 just coming in for Singapore Airlines. Up next, we have the Asiana. This is the A350-900. A bit of a shame as the carrier, won't be around in the next few years as Korean is taking over their operations. And so I don't know what will happen with the liveries and stuff. I assume everything will become Korean. But as for now, we have the Asiana A350-900 just loading up for a flight to Seoul, South Korea. And then as we wrap around to this side, we have just a couple more Delta aircraft. We have the 737-900ER here with a service to Detroit. And then the 767-300, I think really fits well into the airport, especially in Southern California. You see this aircraft in San Diego, and places like that. So just doing a service to New York JFK. And then as we continue with the terminal, we have, just mostly the Alaska and American side of the airport. Really, as the two carriers are obviously both in one world and certainly having their West Coast partnership, I think it makes sense for them to park next to each other here to facilitate connections and other services. So we'll start off with a couple Alaska narrowbodies here. We have the new One World aircraft. This is, I believe, NG models with a service to Seattle. Up next, we have just a regular 900ER with a service to Anchorage. Up next, we have the American. This is the A321, obviously in the stand-up to cancer livery, looking pretty nice there, doing a service to Charlotte. And next to that, we have the Alaska E175, of course, doing a quick hop to San Francisco. And next to that, now I do think this is a new model. This is the Astrojet American 737-800. Just a very clean, polished aircraft, obviously with the chrome. So really a fan of the livery, and I certainly was in need, I think, of a few more American narrow bodies. So very happy to add this. And this aircraft doing a service to Dallas-Fort Worth. And then next to that, the last American 737-800 here, just doing a service to Chicago O'Hare. And then we'll just kind of look at some of the aircraft taxiing to the runway now. So you can see this airport really just has one runway with the runway 26 right now that is operational, but you'll see we just have a few aircraft taxiing. So the Spirit A320 Neo here doing a service to Baltimore. We have the Copa, I believe this is a new model as well, the Copa 737-800, doing a service to Panama City, of course. We have the Southwest 737-700, just doing a service over to Las Vegas. Here we have the FIVA Airbus. This is the A320, just a regular A320ceo with a service to Mexico City. And then we'll take a look at some of the aircraft arriving on the runway. So like I said, runway 26 here. This is the LATAM. This is the 787-9. This aircraft, I'll just kind of give you an interesting view here. Just on final approach right now, just about to land, coming in from Santiago. So this is a day flight, and then it will return over for the night flight back to Santiago. And then a couple more aircraft here, just waiting to line up. We have the Frontier A320 aircraft just doing a service to Denver, of course. Next to that, we have the Aeromexico. This is the 737-800 with a service to Mexico City. And then we just have a few more aircraft on the stands, and I'm sure if you've watched my updates, you'll know we always have a few aircraft on the stands here. And so I think this is a new Gemini model, the Southern Air or DHL/DHL 777F here. We'll be doing a service to Cincinnati later tonight. So just on the stands, we have usually some air stairs hooked up to these guys. So we have the American 777-200 as well, just kind of doing some maintenance there. And we have the United 767. 300ER, we have a Star Alliance 737-800 here. We do have a Air Force, U.S. Air Force C-17, you know, just happy to have that here, just because there is some military presence, particularly near San Diego and Oceanside. So, you know, that's why we just have a C-17 here. We have a United 787-10 also just on the stands. And we also have our hangar here as well. It is a full-size Gemini hangar, so we just have a couple aircraft in there, namely the DHL 737-800 and the U.S. Air Force 2. I forget the official name right now. I'm just having a brain fart, but yeah, Air Force 2, you know what I mean, the USAF 757-200 in there, just getting a little bit of maintenance done. And then we have the FedEx. This is the MD-11, just in the classic livery. This aircraft just came in from Memphis. And yeah, I'll just kind of to round off with the cargo setup as well. Obviously, you know from my previous updates that we do like to have a healthy cargo presence. So we just have a couple of wide bodies here, and you know, most of the GSC is set up, of course. So we have the Cargolux 747-8F, really loading up with lots of cargo, and you know, in the back and the front, with a service to Luxembourg. Up next, we have actually a blank. This is sort of an all-white 747. I think this came from JC Wings, and you know, sometimes in certain airports, you know, you'll see sort of a blank cargo 747, and so I think that just kind of fits in with, you know, the current environment today. So we just have that on the stands. And then we have the Kalita DHL 767-300, also doing a service to Cincinnati. So just getting a lot of cargo loading up right now. Also, we have just underneath here, you know, just some of the cargo, you know, airlines and carriers. So for the trucks, you know, they can come pick up their cargo, and they'll have, you know, specific airline logos and stuff. So, you know, they know where to go. But anyways, guys, I think that's really going to wrap up this update. I really am glad to, you know, be back and making some more updates for you guys. It's really such a pleasure to, you know, come up here and just, you know, really have an airport that it's a custom design. I'm sure if you heard, it's came in from Layover Layouts, which seems to be doing really well right now. Chris, who runs the operation there. So really fantastic to share my passion with you all. Please leave your feedback. I would love to talk anything aviation at all. You can follow me on Instagram at Star Alliance Man. So please go follow me there, and have a great start to your new year. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.